Here's how I start the show.
Okay.
I start it like this. Salutations, kindred spirits. Check it out. We have a mystical creature in the studio.
I have arrived.
He's been here for a couple days, on and off a couple days for the last month. Finally wrangled him into the seat. Ladies and gentlemen, Connor OCarraig.
Happy to be here, Doug.
Connor OCarraig. What are we going on in his friends here? 6, 7.
We met in 2015.
So eight
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
It's been a while. I think of this man as not just a great friend, but a recent collegiate graduate of magical things. Being a friend of, I basically watched your career grow from the get-go. I was going through my Facebook account earlier, trying to find the day I snapped the picture of a leprechaun in the French Quarter, but I guess it was 2015.
Yeah, I can tell you, it was April-ish of 2015 is when we met, because I moved to New Orleans in 2015 to do the leprechaun character right a week before St. Patrick's Day. And so about a month after being out there working, that's when Jocelyn invited me up to y'all's apartment.
Right.
Because before you met me, if I'm not mistaken, you could correct me on this, but before you had me come up to the apartment and met me, you had watched me work.
Oh yeah, I scope out everybody. We vet, and you get vetted before you get upstairs. But yeah, we're going back. I had a great year. I spent with Jocelyn, the NOLA Transformer, and the Nolatron, and yeah, it was during that lovely year in the French Quarter I befriended this man, and
I was invited up for air conditioning, which is a hot commodity in April.
Boy, it is that. It is that. Plus we have bathrooms and other assorted things that you get up there.
Of water and air conditioning,
et cetera.
After 3 hours on the pitch on Royal Street is.
Hey, let's say hello to some kindred spirits. Always like to do that. Tim Askin, a certain kindred spirit. Always good to see you, Tim. It says hello, Connor. Good to see you. Phoenix McDonald.
What's up, Phoenix?
Phoenix is the future of magic, and just remember that name now. Sticky, what's up? And Scott Smith. Hey, Scott. Glad you can make it. Gary, howdy doody. Aaron, hello. And John, Alex. Always a pleasure to see the kindred spirits. And hello, Blow.
Everybody. Nice to meet you.
So, Connor OCarraig, who portrays a leprechaun on the streets and in Renaissance festivals, and maybe your house, I'm sure he's happy to do a house party or two or whatever.
I'm always in leprechaun mode.
Yeah, but not always. But like you're talking to me now, you're more of in, where are you from, Louisiana?
I was born in Monroe.
Monroe,
Louisiana.
North or west of New Orleans?
North.
But you're more of a Southern boy than a leprechaun, but you run into you on the street. You're an Irish.
You're going to think I'm Irish.
Give us a little of that, eh?
Well, there's a lot of people who ask me where I'm from. I don't get to give what you would say a pretty Irish answer. You ask a typical Irish person where they're from, they'll usually say something nice like Dublin. And I don't get to say that because I'm not from there. And in character, I'm from a town called Limerick. That's what I've been told by other Irish people, is that I sound like I'm from Limerick, but it's hard to place because my accent's all over the place.
Now, see, I don't know when he's telling leprechaun tales or it's the truth.
Well, that's a true story.
There's a lot of gray area with leprechauns.
I'll tell you this one. I was sitting on Jackson Square with Emmett, our good friend.
Emmett, the Windy City Wizard, a legendary street performer who is back in New Orleans busking.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
And we're talking. He's talking to me about the Irish accent. And I look at him and I say, Emmett, you wouldn't believe, but I have, as of today, fooled 9 Irish people. They have heard my show and they have thought to themselves, I wonder what part of Ireland that man's from.
Limerick.
Not this punk is imitating Ireland. They think, I wonder where that chap's from.
Right.
And Emmett says, oh, you fooled some Irish people. Well, were they sober or were they drunk? And I said, both. Some of them were sober, some of them were drunk. And Emmett said, you're lying. If you had said all of them were drunk, I'd have believed you.
Yes, indeed.
But later on that day, someone walked by and said, your accent's really good. It's a little all over the place, but I had you placed in Limerick. And I immediately turned to Emmett and I was like, did you hear what that man just said, Emmett? But so that's the accent.
I guess I was poking around your social medias before the shizo to try and share a few things. And we have talked, we have had some learning experiences in this house over the last couple of days. Today
taught me many things about the social media.
But today we filmed your show and all the explanations, and I think you got some good content coming up. But I was poking around your YouTube. Let me see if I can put like what is it like to see Connor OCarraig in the wild? Is this happening? So this is Connor's YouTube channel, and where is this?
This is at either the Montana or the North Dakota.
We can talk about YouTube titles as well. More of my show in Montana, so it's in Montana, not capitalized, and we don't know if it's a magic show. Okay, context.
The context of this is that I had 2 cameras running at this time, and I didn't have enough time to edit the videos because I had to move the festival to the next festival. So I wanted to clear out space in my phone. So I just uploaded this with the intention of coming back to it later, downloading it and editing it. And I never got around to it. But there's a big, like 20-minute.
Yeah, we're not watching all that. I want to see people to get a little vibe of what you're doing.
More of my show in Montana. I was going to share it later in smaller.
Let's see. I want to.
They're not actually linked. Now, obviously, from the front, it is a very convincing illusion. From the side, it's quite clear they're not really linked. They just look like it. Folks, are you having a good time?
I think they're having a good time, Connor. You actually assist in staging these events as well as performing at them, correct?
I do. So, fun thing, if you see in the video, there's that tarp that's hanging over the. 30% of the audience gets shade.
Oh yeah. Hey, that's valuable. Look at it. There's no shade out there.
Notice there's still people who are first day performance. An older magician walked right up to me. He said, "Connor."
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Yeah. Look, there's teenagers watching you. Holy cow, that's real magic. They're standing in the sun with interest. Oh, I love this. You're in there with the people.
I always get
kind of like economic recovery.
You go in there looking for shade.
You better believe it. It's the best 2 seconds of the show. But that tarp actually blew off.
You see, inside the cup
time during that show, during
right
this
here in my
season,
hand.
This big green and yellow thing?
Yeah, one of the corners flew off of the hook that was holding it in place.
Keep a coin right here in your palm, and no one will know you have a coin
grabbed
here.
it. Old military guy. Thank you for your service. He was a Navy veteran, and he grabbed it. Navy veteran grabbing a sail out of the air. He grabs it. Hey, looks at me and says, "You just keep doing your show, man. I'm enjoying myself. I'll hold it until the guy who fixes it gets here." I'm in the middle of my 3-fly routine, and I look at him and I go,
"You want to learn how to do it? Grab the scroll that
I'm the guy who fixes that.
Run
I'm
like
the
the
guy
wind.
they call
Run
to
like
fix
the
stuff
wind.
like
Yeah.
that. It breaks. And the whole crowd laughs about it. I'm like, I'm dead serious. And I look at the crowd and say, "Folks, we don't give me 2 minutes. Put the stuff down." The crowd helped me.
Yeah, I got the 2 things that I need.
I build
I'm
all
going
the
to do my grand
staging.
finale.
These that requires heavy lifting. I handle it, and a lot of times I'm the manager.
We're going to talk more about Renaissance festivals as time goes on here today because
that. I have notes about
Connor made notes.
If you want to know about Ren fairs and working Ren fairs, there's a lot of information that we're going to cover at the end of this interview about doing it.
I imagine some of this audience is Kindred Spirits out here, buskers, degenerates of all sorts. And if nothing else, you tell a funny tale and you do some good magic. I'm hoping to talk you into some tricks. Plus, there's a guest. We have an extra guest besides just the extra guest
He's
today.
gonna work too. He's got a trick.
Man, let's do that now. Let's bring out the extra guest now. As you do this, I will bring up this. I'll share.
Do that while I'm getting.
Yeah, let me share this TikTok, which you posted about a week or 2 weeks ago. You were at my house. Let's see if we can share this.
Oh yeah.
Staying at my buddy Doug's house. He's my mentor. He's taught me quite a bit about magic. You probably know Doug Kahn way more than you know me. He's fantastic. And he let me crash on his couch after working in New Orleans yesterday. And I woke up to walk my bird. And every crow in Doug's neighborhood has seen me. This happens from time to time. And so I'm walking, and I walk by Doug's house, and he comes outside, and he points up, he goes, "Is that your fault? Does this happen to you often?"
It seemed like there were 200 birds out there.
Waking up the whole neighborhood,
Well,
but
I'm gonna pay a crow. You're gonna see.
Yeah.
the crow army.
Oh, I saw him. I was out there, but it was like a scene from Hitchcock's The Birds.
So I'm staying at my buddy Doug's house. He's my mentor. He's
So
taught me quite a bit about
that's our extra special guest. He's here today. Look, live and on YouTube. What's his name?
Moonan.
Moonan. Moonan. Hold on, I have this. There, we'll do that. I'll do that, and we can pay attention to Moonan. So Moonan is
He is a fish crow.
a
He's
fish
the smallest
crow.
type of crow that we have in North America. He is a natural bird to America. So you've got two different types of corvids. Any people who keep birds will know this, that birds that are born in America, natural born American birds, are federally protected thanks to Teddy Roosevelt and some stuff. But my ex-wife is an animal rehabilitator. She and I together rescued him off the side of the highway where he imprinted on me. And then when we broke up, I'm still piggybacking off of her permit, but I'm also beginning my apprenticeship.
He has a damaged wing.
He does. My bird cannot fly. He has a damaged wing, and in order to keep a natural born crow from America that has a damaged wing, there's all sorts of federal red tape to go through that I'm experiencing because my wife and I broke up. She's the animal rehabilitator, but we're still piggybacking off of her contract, and I'm starting my apprenticeship this year as a falconer. It's going to be 2 years of apprenticeship,
Which ties in wonderfully. It's like having a person in your life.
It is.
And the crows are super smart, right? They're like so
super
intelligent.
Well, should we show you his trick?
Well,
to viewers,
yeah,
or you want to wait for that.
No, we're going to do a thing. Trick number 1 is going to be done by the bird today.
right.
So you've been training the bird to do things as a street performer. This is a good one, right?
So, and I will preface this by saying, very rarely do I do this in public. This is something that I don't. To put it to you this way, I look for opportunities to do my magic show.
Yeah.
I do not look for opportunities to do what I'm about to show you here.
Your bird is in a cage behind you if he's on the pitch at all. Right.
Yeah,
he's not part of the show.
Usually, especially in other pitches, like in Colorado and stuff like that. I've got friends in Colorado who have great areas where I can build a good, nice chicken coop for my bird and leave him for 4 or 5 hours in this big space.
Yeah, that's
and I can go and work on the pitch.
Right.
But New Orleans, I don't have anybody who's like, bring your bird into my apartment that my landlord will kick me out of.
You got me, but I got 3 cats.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just weirder bringing it in that type of situation in New Orleans. But I have a cage and he gets out every 45 minutes for 15 to 20
You give
minutes.
him lots and lots.
He gets lots and lots of time out of the cage, but I don't put him directly into my show because he does not like being the center of attention. And what I'm about to show you will build a crowd faster than anything. Yeah. Because I have, I don't know, can the camera see it?
Yeah. What's that, a 20?
And I have a 10.
And a 10.
And I think the show's worth a decent amount. A lot of people might haggle between these two prices on what they think the show's worth. But Dee, which one do you think is worth more? So that's the 20, in case y'all didn't notice that.
He picks the 20.
I'm gonna admit y'all, that could be luck. That could be luck. I could have done something to make him pick the 20. I think that for scientific purposes, we should do it again. Where did I put the darn thing? Just drop the 20.
We don't know. 20s have a habit of vanishing in my studio. They just randomly go missing. Right. I don't even know where.
That's funny.
All right. Look, just say it. The bird picks the 20 over and over.
Just 99.9% of the time, he'll pick the 20. We will eventually have to find that thing before I leave here, though.
What have you done other things with them beyond the money? That seems like a natural.
I'm not gonna do it with a worm because it's gross, but like with an apple or like a granola bar, I'll let him eat out of my mouth. And from a distance, it looks like he's giving me a kiss.
Okay, then.
And people seem to like that quite a bit.
Do you have intents of putting him in the show? Because if I'm not mistaken, this thing's going to be with you for as long as you see fit and probably outlive you.
So actually, I learned recently that I had been misinformed.
Oh.
Fish crows live to be about 14 years old.
Oh.
And I know that and what it was is that I had heard 15, and I thought I had heard 50.
I see.
Wishful thinking. Because who wouldn't want a bird that lives to be 50, right? But he's going to live to be about 14, 15 years old, which is still a long time for any animal.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
It's pretty standard. Dog, cats.
Yeah. So, But
Well, that for me is a little more reasonable when I think of undertaking a
He's
life
two.
partner for like 80 years or
12 more
whatever.
years. I
Yeah.
thought it was gonna be like. Here's the thing. I was okay with it.
Yeah.
If he let, and that's. But I had misheard somebody. I thought that they had said 50, and
All right.
they had said 15. That's my mistake. But yeah, still, I'll have him until I'm about 44.
Yeah.
So that's quite a long time.
It's a cool thing. Hey,
Yeah, I'm glad
Moonan,
you
thank
know.
you for being on the YouTube experience. All right, so what I want to do here is transition into things more of Kindred Spirits. I mean, we could talk Crow Talk all day if y'all want, and if you do want to talk Crow Talk, just let me know in the
With
chat.
enough comments in the chat, we could be inclined to bring him back.
Look, we're getting there. Nevermore.
out.
Phoenix. Oh, good. You're doing the Triumph. Crows are one of my favorite animals. You know, I knew nothing about them until recently because of this guy, and I've done some research. Now I'm on Crow Talk. You know, it's like TikTok, but it's all birds, and I learn about things. So I was saying before we got the bird out, I've watched Connor evolve from a budding street busker and go through all of the steps of learning how to work the streets properly. This includes fighting the rigors of COVID. You can imagine getting a career going and then being stopped by a pandemic. Not just stopped, but stopped the day before St. Patrick's Day.
It was so 2020, man.
The city went
The
on.
city of New Orleans was shut down on March 16th. Like,
So yeah, and this was after you had had a run, taken a break, come back for another run, really had your sea legs going. You had maybe worked a season at LARF, I think, was under your belt. LARF is the Louisiana Renaissance Festival, and now you're ready to rev into the full-time street performer Renaissance, and then COVID hits.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, it really was. It was that.
Yeah.
I had taken
So-
a 2-year hiatus.
So to watch you evolve from a stumbling block, you had to go work at a restaurant for a while, come back, get squashed by that, stay the course, and then now transition through some other. It's never easy to be a professional entertainer, but it's certainly one on the road and with other life partners. It's a weird experience and challenging. Recently, you've made some changes. You got a new truck, and you got your whole season lined up. Briefly, let's talk about where you've gone from working one festival. You got your foot in Louisiana Renaissance. How many Renaissance fairs did you work last year?
Last year,
Yeah.
9.
9.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
that is a lot. And this year I'm doing 7 because 2 are getting replaced with one that runs longer. You know?
Okay.
And so, but
Maybe the same number of weeks working, just a different number of
more number of weeks.
more.
working. You take 2 Renaissance festivals, one that's a weekend long
Mhm.
and one that is 2 weekends long,
Mhm.
and you replace that gap
Yeah.
with a 6-weekend long
Right.
festival.
Like you just got done here with Louisiana Renaissance Festival. How long does that one run?
That one runs every weekend in November, and the first 2 weekends of December. You're welcome, Alvin and Rich. You get your free commercial. Louisiana Renaissance Festival in Hammond, Louisiana.
It's a great festival.
It is so much fun.
Yeah, they've really built
And
this up.
I'm
I've been there probably 15 times with my daughters
Hire me
over
for
the
this
last.
next season, too. They have to hire me for this next season now. I'm giving them a free
It's a
commercial.
lock. Look, you also do social media at these events, and I've linked all of Connor's things. Hey, y'all go link and share and like his videos. Let's get
I'm
this man's.
growing on social
Yeah,
media.
let's get this
I'm
man some
getting a better
algorithmic
camera
love.
this year. Don't have one yet, but I'm getting a better camera. Better content is coming.
If I've learned anything about you, it's that you've constantly improved yourself, and I've seen it happen, and I'm excited to watch what the next step is. Eventually, you're just gonna.
The truck just took a priority over an iPhone. That's all it is. iPhone's not going to do me any good if I have to film the same thing for a year and have no gigs. The truck, I'm traveling all over, so I'm really, really.
You'll get it.
about
You'll
I'm
get
really, really happy about it.
Point being, from street struggles,
Mhm.
1 year in, squashed, and now you're working probably as much as you really want,
For
right?
sure.
You choose to street perform in between these events.
Absolutely.
And I guess it's a luxury. It's really the best theater in
It's
the world.
Smartest way to do it too, because you're at a fair, you save some money up to go to the next fair. But you don't have to use that money that you saved up because you can street perform along the way. And it's like Pop Hayden says, busking is like a magic carpet. It's really fun to roll into a city, do 3 or 4 shows, and take the money from those shows and fill the gas tank and buy yourself a hotel room and buy yourself dinner and breakfast, and then roll over to the next city. And I know it make it sound fun and easy. It's hard and everything.
I've always said
Beautiful
a
experience.
successful busker has to love to travel. Like, not just like to travel, but love it. And if you don't do that, or if you don't just have some kind of a passion for it, you won't succeed long term, because you do have to travel a lot and make that work for you.
Run from the winter.
Yeah, well,
That's all you gotta
congratulations on being able to do exactly whatever you want as far as that goes.
100%, man.
I do want to talk about some specific things that any viewers of Renaissance that might be interested in developing a Renaissance kind of a situation. So maybe, I guess if you could say number 1 tip, like, I'm interested in working Renaissance fairs, what would be the first thing that I should do?
I said this the last time that I was live with you and the Magic guys, and I'm going to say it again. The biggest help for me that saved me the most time was I bought a $5 PDF book from a guy named Bob Hollister. Bob Hollister has been a performer for like 20, 30, 40 years. I don't know how he's old school Rennie. He's been doing Rennies for a long, long time. He and his wife do the Wonder Elixir of Life show. It's a medicine man show. And they literally are pitching water and food coloring. And they've been doing a show of that at Renaissance Fair for 20 or 30 years.
Yeah. Okay.
So literally,
he knows the business.
He has done so much with so little for so long that he can do anything with nothing forever, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Right. And he wrote a book about a little bit. It's about as thick as Leading with Your Head, to give you the context.
20, 30 pages.
Yeah, it's very short, but it lays out a lot of it. It's do you want to have a booth and be a vendor, or do you want to be an entertainer? Do you want to just be a cast member for a year or two? Is towards the beginning stuff. It's like, okay, so you want to be an entertainer. What's your show going to be? How are you going to polish it and make it worthwhile? And where are you going to get the video that you need to get the gig, which is the key. You got to have a good 2-minute reel of, here's what I do. Here's what I'm capable of. The most important thing in your video reel is crowd size. You need to, every time someone who owns a Renaissance festival looks at a video to see, is this guy worth hiring? They look at the size of your crowd that they can see in the video, and they say each one of those heads is $1. And then they take that number of dollars that they see in head count, and they multiply it times how many shows you're going to do a day. And that's what they think you're worth. No matter how good you think your show is, no matter what your day rate is, that's what the owner of the Renaissance Festival thinks that you are worth when they see your reel. Which is to say that if your reel is nothing but you doing your really, really complex act and you don't see a single spectator, they think you're worth nothing.
So if you're putting together a promo, and you should be, because,
that is the key to getting the gig, is a promo reel.
Put your crowd in it.
Yeah.
That's what I always try to do anyway. When I'm getting footage out there these days, I'm looking for audience reactions above and beyond anything.
Beckoning back again, Bob Hollister is the one who taught me that in his book, talking about those types of things. I don't know if that exact quote about the head count is in there.
Yeah,
but there's a lot of information in there about contracts and negotiating your pay and his advice on it. He says something in there about, like, I would tell you, if I could, I would tell you never work for free, but you're going to have a very hard time getting your first promo reel without telling a Renaissance Festival that you're do it for free just so that you can film yourself. And that advice was worth a lot to me, because I did like 4 free Celtic festivals to get the reel, to get the video that I needed to get the act done. And so, but that book, the PDF book, he sells it, he'll email it to you. It's $5.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer. So that's an easy recommendation. It's Bob Hollister.
Wonder Elixir of Life.
$5. Yeah, $5. So get that if you're interested in Ren fairs. Yeah. General advice on working them, like what do you have to say in general?
So
it's probably like the streets, and
let's streamline it to being a magician at a Renaissance fair.
Good point.
There's probably a lot of people, because there's so many other things that you can do at Renaissance Fair. Which, if you want to talk about those, send me an email.
We're magicians. Let's talk about magic stuff.
For this, specifically being a magician at the Renaissance
right.
Festival. So you're usually going to have to choose between doing lane work or stage work or both. And I'm gonna tell you, I prefer doing only stage work.
And lane work is when you're
Lane work is street magic at the Renaissance Fair.
okay.
And stage work is, here are my 4 show times on this sign. And at 12 o'clock, if you come back here, buy yourself a lemonade on the way. It's right there. But if you come back here at 12 o'clock, I'm going to be doing a magic show on that stage. And so your crowd build lasts however long the gap is between your shows.
Although you might just be working the lanes only as a beginner. You might have to establish yourself and and develop your persona and character to show.
And there's pros and cons to that, you know, doing it in the lanes of a Renaissance Fair, which at LARF, I worked the lanes exclusively.
I recall that
3
years. Well, they have an established magic act there, so to get a second one at all is
good.
a challenge.
Yeah.
But you have a great character piece going. That
I had that other act's blessing. I asked him. I was like, "Hey, man, I'm about to."
We're talking about Mark Faulkner. What's
Faulkner,
up, Mark?
We love you. Thank you.
Yeah.
But I was like, "Hey, man, I just ran into the owner of the Louisiana Renaissance Festival. We're talking about me possibly coming out there. And before I send him another email, I want to make sure it's cool with you." And he's like, "I love you. Can't wait to have you out here."
Look, Phoenix wants a magic trick. What's your favorite trick, Connor? Answer the question, and then because I know we're all blabbering information. We haven't even done magic yet.
I'm not going to do my favorite. Well, I don't know if you noticed this, but
just answer the question. What is your? It doesn't even have to be something you do. What's your favorite one?
Oh man,
just one of them.
Well, I'm a huge fan of doing the muscle pass because it feels like real magic to me. It gets a really good reaction and stuff like that. And so,
he's got a good one. Let's make him do it. Would you do the muscle pass for us?
I'll do the muscle pass.
All right.
You, absolutely.
In my opinion, this is one of the top muscle passes I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen a lot. And I hate this move, and he does it great.
I'll give you your money after the live.
No,
thank you for the free.
I hope it looks good on camera.
I'm sure it will. Watch this.
Whoa. So for the next 10 minutes, this is going to be the stream. We're just going to have Connor repeat the muscle pass until no one watches it. But then that's good for me, and I don't care what everyone else thinks.
It's called inflation.
Can you get it even a little closer to the camera?
I'll do that for sure.
Hey, y'all, look how his left hand doesn't bounce. Connor, you disappoint me. It's so good. Okay, so that's a great thing. This is originally a technique developed to shoot coins into a top it discreetly. John Cornelius is the one who popularized it as the coin that falls up. I guess if you want to learn this thing, there's enough information out there. Just go practice it a lot. That's one thing.
I'm gonna give him one last one. I'm gonna do the 3 fly.
Oh yeah, this is kind of a cool thing.
This is a fun thing. I do.
You know, you kind of have to do 3 fly first to make it happen.
So I will. So I got 1, 2, 3 coins. They're gonna go from here to here, one at a time. Some people think that I might have an extra coin in one of my 2 hands. Other people think that I might be throwing the coin from one hand to the other.
That's what I thought.
Right. Well, in order to do that, Doug, your hand has to move. But if you watch real close, you'll notice my hand doesn't move when it jumps from one hand to the other.
Nice.
Now, I'll do it in slow motion.
Slow motion.
Yeah. See it that time, Doug?
I saw it.
And the only reason you could see it was because I was going slow. If I had gone at full speed, you wouldn't have been able to see it. That's why I do it in slow motion. I don't want you to feel like I'm trying to trick you.
I see.
I mean, I am trying. I just don't want you to feel like it. I'm going to do it one last time from here to here. So that's the 3 fly. But sometimes people will come up to me and try and talk to me about how it's done in a heckling nature. And I'm of the mindset that I'll totally teach somebody.
Never mind.
I'll totally tell somebody how the trick's done if they wait until the end of the show. Like, hey man, I really want to know how that's done. I'll give them enough of a kernel to work.
This isn't a performance piece.
But what I'm about to do here is not this is my
muscle pass
application to the 3 fly, so that I can say, no, dude, whatever your theory is about how the 3 fly, that's not it. I'll show you how it's done. I'll show you. All you do is you sling that coin into this palm right here, and then you make it jump across. I do a lot faster so you can't see it when it's happening, but that's all that I do. You just don't see it. It takes me just a second to get it into that position right there. And from there, it jumps right across, you know, and it's real. It's real. I'm just doing it faster than you can see it. But so that way, and I was talking to Dusty about it because it's a really fun twofer, because you're doing this goofy, plausible explanation thing, but you're also something really impressive and weird and is happening at the same time.
Tell me this. We were talking, because I said that I filmed Connor's show earlier, and he went through the explanations for a thing he's working on. And You said you tied your arm to a chair.
Yes.
Yes. You tied your arm to a chair to prevent it from. Because here's the problem with the muscle pass. Everybody goes up, even if it's an inch or two. If you move your hand up when you're doing
muscle pass. This is a bad muscle pass, and the reason why is because I might as well have done that.
Yeah,
and that's what people will think you did.
Yeah,
and that's a tough one. And I didn't want any of that. So I wanted to train that out of me entirely. So I found a good, comfortable armchair that had an armrest. And I literally took my rope routine and tied my arm down with my rope. And then I had a stack of coins.
I love that. I'm going to have to tie it down to make this happen.
A stack of coins. And I would put it on there and launch it up without my hand moving. And then I would put it on there and I would launch it up without my hand moving. And I would put it on there and launch it. And I just did that. I did it, 3 or 4 separate occasions. I would sit down and tie my arm to the chair for 20 minutes.
I guess you kind of learn quick if you do it that way.
Put something on TV.
Let me answer this question.
But so that's
Totally Out of Control by Chris Kenner.
3 fly.
Where you will find published as Menage a Trois. The original 3 fly handling. It was kind of a little inside joke as Connor was performing that routine. You do a very close interpretation of the original. It's very similar to what Kenner originally published. But who do we really thank for the original publication of that trick, Connor?
Gary Kurtz.
That's who I thank. But we love all the giants. Kenner,
Kurtz, Eric Jones, which is the illusionist era. That's my generation of
we love Eric Jones too.
Eric Jones is a coin worker, man. I see you. I see your work.
I wanted you to talk about this hunk of a wand you use. It's sitting here. Let's talk about. Look at this. Look at this wand. Here's mine. Here's my. I call it.
And Doug, they're the same size if you look at them like this.
They're virtually identical. Now bring yours up to the screen. Look at that. What? So Connor, the giant leprechaun, uses a giant wand.
There's a joke about what magicians do when they go live and measuring and everything.
Yeah, we're family friendly here, and there are children in the audience.
I'm just telling you that it
telling
exists.
you after the stream's off, we'll get degenerate. Let's keep it clean now.
I'm just telling you that it exists.
The size of that is magnificent, and I absolutely love that you're using the biggest one that you can. Hey, Sam, good to see you, man. Rock on. So do the flip stick with that if you wouldn't mind. So this is one of your earlier numbers you'll use on the street.
This is the first or second trick that someone
will see. Come a little more this way here.
Yeah, there. So this is the first or second trick that someone will see me do on the street. And it's really, really good. It's got everything.
That's pretty good. I don't know if the camera's loving this, but I'm also jaded. Do it again. Let me see if, it's so large and then it's gone and then back. Cool. All right. Thank you.
But and I'm not the only guy who does that. There's a reason why Nico, Jimmy, Emmett, and a dozen other people use Flipstick as that first or second trick that people see you do. It's so great. It accomplishes so many things all at once.
Yeah. It's like going fishing. Hey, watch. No. Okay. Hey, watch.
Right.
Oh, okay. No. Hey, watch. You can just keep doing that. Watch the stick.
Great. Instant reset.
All right. I'm going to have you do one more trick because I love the way that you handle banded, but I'm going to make everyone wait just a couple more minutes before you do this. And
banded? You want me to do something different?
No, I want to go back to Renaissance fairs and see if there's anything else you want to mention, or that if we have any questions on that subject, because I'm telling you, this man has knowledge and he might be able to help you. So if you're interested in the Ren Fair market and you have a question you want to ask Connor, this is the time you want to get it in. Happy to field any questions in general.
For sure.
Yes, I am losing weight. You can save that question. I'm down 0.4 pounds so far. No, we're all resolved to a healthier 2023 with great things. I know you are. I can't wait to see what you do this year, man. I say that every year because I mean it. And again, I would encourage everyone to follow Connor on TikTok or YouTube. Follow him on the YouTube so you can get this subscriber count up and maybe monetize this upcoming shorts platform.
I have an Instagram, a YouTube, and a Facebook. Leprechaun.
Yeah.
Google leprechauns. I've got a hashtag leprechaun.
And then what you
somewhere
get
on
is
that
not just
platform.
magic tricks. You get to see this man travel the country, and he's very good about sharing his story. And, you know, you'll get to see all different locales and what he's doing and place to place. What is your favorite Ren Fair to work?
Man, no, so that's a tough one. I love the New Jersey Renaissance Fair,
Yeah.
and I love the St. Louis Renaissance Fair.
It's not Louisiana though.
Well, I love LARF for I do love LARF too, but at New Jersey Renaissance Fair, I'm site crew manager. I'm becoming part of the leadership and the ownership of that festival, and the people that I work with there have really just whatever you want, come on in. Just come on, sit right here on the couch with us, buddy. By all means.
I'm not surprised because this is a cool guy, right?
so-
I like to hang around cool people. So when you go hang around other people, I'm sure they're happy to have you there. You got a good vibe.
For sure.
You know, you're a
I make
magician.
myself very valuable to the New Jersey Renaissance
Yeah,
Fair.
and you can build things.
At LARF, no one said no one needs to because it doesn't happen at LARF. I never work site crew at LARF because I'm so close to New Orleans. So if I want an extra source of income, I can just pop over to
probably
New Orleans.
preferable than
I
mean,
I'd much rather street perform than work site crew. By hands down, rather do 3 or 4 shows a day than work for 8 to 12 hours doing hard labor. But I'll do the hard labor, but I won't do it at Louisiana because it makes no sense. If I'm an hour away from the French Quarter, why on earth would I agree to do site crew at LARF? But I'm not always in that position at all the other festivals that I go to. New Jersey is one of them. I'm 2 hours away from the closest.
So you make yourself, I guess this is a good bit of information, double valuable by arriving and helping set up some of the event, if not most of the event before, and this gets you pay and you establish lodging there as well.
So you can establish lodging if you just perform. If you are a performer and you're going to come at the festival, you can negotiate the price of your stay of your day rate to also include hotels, but you're going to get paid less, and that money is definitely going to be in hotels. If you are down to camping at a Renaissance Fair is a great way to get the most money out of your day rate, period. And you do not have to work site crew to get camping at most Renaissance Fairs. There are cases of festivals who have no camping, or festivals who have camping but no electric, or camping but no showers.
Yes, it can get hardcore out there.
Tread carefully.
Right.
But you can get lodging negotiated into your contract, whether it be hotels or not. It depends. But you will. There's a compromise and an exchange that happens with that. But when you're working site crew, usually your camping is always free, and there's no cost being negotiated out of your paycheck for the camping, where some festivals they'll be like, hey, yeah, we'll pay you this.
We get it.
But the other benefits that come with site crew, you're getting extra money involved, which is never going to be what you're making to work what you do, but the site crew money is better than no money at all. But you also wind up being there. You get to network with people who get there. People who get there a week early to set up their booth are the hard workers, the people who know the owners of other festivals.
Right.
And they're there.
This is where
Monday.
you make connections and build a
Tuesday,
future. Yeah.
Setting stuff up for the person who works for them, who will be here on Saturday, because they need to go to another festival on Thursday and Friday to set up there.
Yeah.
And that person's there on Monday, and they see you driving a forklift, and they say, hey, man,
so that sounds
busy,
like
can you move this so that I can get to my booth? And you help them, and they remember you the next time you're trying to get their gig at the festival that they happen to own, that you had no clue they own their own festival as well as so that's what happened.
Look, let's get to some more questions. That all sounds like very hard work, but guess what? We discussed this earlier. It turns out if you want to be successful, you have to work hard no matter what you're doing. So I mean, we worked hard today in this room, right? We did a lot of things today. Gary asked, have you ever been to Pinsick? I don't know what that is.
Pinsick. I know what Pinsick is. I have not been, but I know a lot of people who go. Pinsick is it's not necessarily a Renaissance festival. It's a historic. It's the Society for Clever Anacronyms. They like to do historical reenactments, and they do a lot of battle.
The Pinsick Wars.
Pinsick Wars.
There we go.
So it's they make a little village. It's like Burning Man for Renaissance fairs. Basically, they set up camps. And for
that sounds cool. That sounds cool.
It's big, massive, huge.
Why have you not been to that? That sounds right up your alley.
Because it's a nonprofit thing, and getting paid to do it is harder. You got to find, instead of getting the management of Pinsick to book me, I need to find somebody who
who's here.
Camp
all right, whatever. That sounds like fun anyway. Scotty Bondo's here. What's
up, Scotty? That's my buddy from Colorado. Love Scotty.
Scotty tells people all the time, you're not as good as your best show, and you are not as bad as we get it. Here's the question. What was your best and worst shows ever?
What were my best and worst shows ever?
How about this? What was the worst one?
Oh God, there are so many to choose from. I'll tell you this.
I mean, we heard
I'll tell you
if
this.
it's not the one where the ceiling falls
spent-
on your audience that you told us earlier, I am interested in
There
what.
is that. There is that. But no, I would say my worst show ever. I spent 1.5 to 2 years developing and performing a show that I was very proud of that was all in rhyming script and was about time travel.
Mm-hmm.
And while it was it got me paid, it got me booked, people enjoyed it. It locked me into some very hard gridlocks as an artist. I wasn't able to improvise very much because in order to improvise and stay within the context of the show, I had to keep rhyming.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of risks that I wasn't willing to take. There was a lot of engagement that I wasn't able to do because some radical element has introduced a cool conversation point about time travel and I can't rhyme it. Sorry, we're skipping over what.
Look, I loved watching you develop that. I also sat in the
that's not
the
gonna last
sidelines
forever.
going, yeah, that's gonna be
It's gonna
temporary.
That's it, and I did, but it was 2 years, man, 2 to 3 years that I spent. I spent a year working on it.
Well,
2
part
years
of the,
performing
here's the
it, and
thing
that's
we
what I would
talked
say is my
about.
worst
You
show.
had speed bumps in your development process that did not allow you to get out there and do this material maybe as much to realize that other choices provide better emotional experiences for your audience.
Absolutely.
Phoenix wants to know what your least favorite trick is. Oh, your least favorite fair. Well, let's not be negative. Let's be positive.
Oh man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
You don't want to talk to. Do you want to talk, Mike?
About that?
Your least favorite thing? How about this instead? Let's rephrase the question. What is the most challenging thing about working in a Ren Fair environment?
Oh, Doug. All right. So I'm not going to tell you what fair it is. How about that? I will tell you that it is currently running and that there is another redheaded magician running it. And that redheaded magician did not work for half price for a whole season. He got booked for his full rate, and I'm not there anymore. And I will never work for a festival that is owned by that same person for a couple of reasons. When I was first asked to work there, I was asked to work for free, and I was lied to about another performer who had worked for free and was told that he made a fortune in tips, which is a bad thing. You never tell a performer, just come here and work off of my tips if you're trying to hire them. And so there was that. Then I did not get paid. The festival lasted 4 weekends long, and most festivals that I work on the second weekend on that Sunday, there's a paycheck with your name on it. It's ready to go. You've been here. You've worked 4 full work days. We've gotten the pay from the first weekend. Here's your paycheck.
It's more good information.
Every 2 weekends is a good rate.
Yeah.
Sometimes you might have to wait to the third weekend, but if the festival is a weekend long, paycheck is there on Sunday afternoon at the end of the first weekend. Festival's 2 weekends long, you might have to wait till the second weekend. If the festival's 3 weekends long, you're getting paid that second weekend and that third weekend.
So you got stiffed. That sucks.
I didn't get stiffed. They made me wait all the way until the fourth weekend. So I worked for a month. The only income that I had was tips for 2 days a week because I was nowhere near.
And that can be rough sometimes.
And then when it came time to finally pay me, he tried to act like he had already paid me half at the 2 week mark. And I was like, no.
Were you working with contracts at that point?
I did have a contract, but there's the point is there was a lot of red flags, and there was a lot of times where he tried to say, well, we shook on this, and I go, that doesn't matter. We signed this piece of paper that I sent back to you and made you correct it.
Okay.
So that, so there are, I can't tell you what the name of the festival is because I'm going to be kind, but I will tell you that there are festivals that are up to some less than.
There's some sketchy people
stuff.
out there. There's probably people who also just don't know what they're doing, trying to get things right,
To
and it
segue
just
out of that,
fails.
I wrote down some notes that kind of touch on that I wanted to say. So, like, first of all, Ren Fair is a small world. Your reputation and your networking matters. I touched on that when we were talking about the site crew stuff, but the community is very, very contained. There's only a lot of people who work this festival work 3 other festivals, and they're all the same people. And then there's a lot of people who work this festival, and they all work the same 2 or 3.
I can imagine it's a big family.
There's like
yeah.
3 or 4
Mhm.
big families and a couple of people, a small percentage of them, who flip back and forth between the families. I'm one of those guys.
Yeah,
right.
right.
I'm in this circle and in this
I
circle
could see
and
that.
in this circle because the nature of what I do is a little different than some what
You
other people
flow
do.
like the river.
Yeah, you flow like the river. Private contractor. That's the term. That's
Yeah.
the difference. But so, but getting gigs and stuff like that means being liked by the fairs that you're already at, but also know that if you are at a festival that you don't want to be at, where you're uncomfortable with the way that things are being managed or stuff like that, that there are other gigs happening at that same time. And you can say, look, man, you might mess me up this year, but I will find another gig to replace you next year if you don't handle the stuff that's in the contract and stuff like that. And there are times where, like, it's just not taken care of. So, but yeah. But that's one of the things with the benefits of being site crew is that they are less likely to mess you over if they also need you to break it down when the show's over. So they'll keep being nice to you past the end of the festival. And so, but yeah, that's on that note of the least favorite place, there are, as you can tell, things happen. And if you ever have something happen to you, by all means, send me an email and I'll help advise you if a festival screws you.
Well, look at that
in some way, shape, or
offer.
form.
Send Connor an email.
Send me an email if festivals. I'll tell you whether or not you have a right to be upset, because there's a lot of times when people get butthurt about things. It's like, that's not our fault. That's ticketing's fault, and there's nothing we could have done to help you with that.
Look, speaking of butthurt, we've been here
Yeah.
45 minutes.
And
Y'all
no
been
one's
there
seen
for a
some
while.
magic.
Well, we're going to do one more bit of magic before I say goodbye, because we still got other things to do, and we've still done a lot today. So, but this phase is about to wrap up. But hey, I want y'all to see a good piece of magic. Connor does some expert stuff, and we're going to see if we can get a good look at his handling of, is it Garrett?
Garrett Thomas's banded, man.
It's a trick with a finger ring.
Well, that's the first thing, is that anytime you do this trick, it's always right here whenever you need it. And Doug, as a matter of fact, could you inspect it, make sure that's a regular ring?
Nope, that's a Himber ring.
It's definitely not a Himber ring. It's a coin ring, actually. And it's
Look at that quality you get with the Doug Con YouTube.
These things happen, but the important thing is that it doesn't open up. And how you know that it wouldn't have opened up is that I wouldn't have handed it out to you or a spectator if it
That
did.
makes sense.
But what I do with the ring and what Garrett does with it, it's kind of like a warm up for the hands. A lot of people don't realize this, that sleight of hand is a physical exertion, so it's important to be stretched. So this ring right here is going to go from here to here without going near the fingertips. Okay, it's going to go across the knuckles.
Okay.
Let me see here. Yeah, I got it right there. There it is. Yeah, me covering up my face makes the focus.
Yeah.
on it better.
Okay. Then
Yeah,
we
so
learn things. Yeah.
Right, we learn things. I'll do it again. You can see that. Yeah.
Yep. We're making the round.
Right. One last time. Where's the camera? There it is, right there. From there to there.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's really fun. I enjoy it quite a lot.
Sweet.
Yeah, and there's a lot of other stuff that Garrett covers on that. If you want a trick that will always be awesome and always be on your finger, and you'll know that you can always blow people's minds with it, get Banded by Garrett Thomas. It's a great trick.
So you're here today. We did our things. What are you doing tomorrow?
I'm driving to Florida to help build up the stuff for the Bonita Springs Renaissance Festival in Venezia. My tour kicks off tomorrow. Today's my last
Say
day.
that again. The Bonita
Bonita Springs Renaissance Festival and Bonita. Oh, it's called the Venezia Renaissance
So you'll be
Festival.
in Florida. Gary,
Springs.
Gary's in Orlando.
Oh
so,
yeah. Oh, you got a bit of a ways to come down.
Well,
You might. Bonita Springs is all the way at the tippy tip.
that probably won't happen then.
But I'll
Hey,
be
look.
after that. I'll be in Tampa, which is a little closer to Orlando. I'll be in Dade City, an hour north of Tampa, at the Bay Area Renaissance Festival from February.
Gary says a long way from me. But
Yeah.
look, you want to follow this guy. He does a good job about posting his thing. Where he's going to be, yada, yada. Like I said, follow him on the TikTok, the Instagrams, YouTube.
I'm on
and
tour for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I'm going all over.
I, for one, am excited to see this man's journey continue. I thank you for having this be part of it today.
Hey, dude, I'm honored
Folks,
to be here.
Connor OCarraig, Kindred Spirits, thanks for spending the last 45 minutes with us. And it's going to be a wrap today. I'm going to get some of this content we shot and put it up on shorts and
I
stuff.
want some shorts of this too. There's plenty for both of us in this, right?
We'll see you on the shorts, folks.
Yeah, you'll see both of us.
Au revoir.
Sayonara.